Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. I promise y'all, it truly does mean the world to me. But with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about the regulatory regime change. We're talking about this institutional shift of capital that's getting ready to flow through these markets. And we also talking about our ISO gems, our quant, our hedera, our XRP, our XLM, our XDC, our IOTAs, anybody else that is regulatory compliant and conforming to this new shift in blockchain and distributed ledger technologies globally. Okay, you guys? Follow me on this. I really appreciate each and every single one of y'all for tapping in, for liking, for commenting, for subscribing. I really do. Y'all are truly becoming a community, and I truly appreciate every single one of y'all. Your time is truly valuable to me, and I do not take it lightly that you're choosing to spend your time, which is truly the only currency that we have, with me. Okay? I thank y'all. But jumping into this, right? I've told y'all the institutions are coming. The institutional investment, the institutional capital is coming. Get yourself nicely planted, get yourself nicely cemented, because this ride up, y'all, it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be a amazing time to be in the. You're gonna have the mainstream news reporting on how high some of these assets rose. Overnight, it was a success, just like they did with Nvidia. When Nvidia did that first, I believe it was $280 billion in one night. It was all over the news the next day. That's how this sector is gonna be. Watch. But anyway. So we're hopping into the mainstream news, talking about what? The institutional adoption of this technology. Follow me on this, you guys. I'm telling you, they are doing their indoctrination of their institutional investors, letting them know that this space is safe, it is secure, it is now being regulated, and you can come play in the realm of Web3. Follow me. I'm always going somewhere. We're hopping into this first news story, and I will be right back.
I spoke with BitWise CIO Matt Hogan about what we can expect for the rest of the month and whether he thinks his pullback is over. So Matt, the key theme this summer has been institutional adoption of crypto, which overtook the macroeconomic narrative as the main performance driver. But now August is off to a rocky start following weak jobs data and the president's new tariffs. So I'm wondering if you think investors should brace for a reversal of that dynamic as traders potentially continue to sell out of risky assets.
Oh, it's a great question. August is historically the worst month of the year for crypto. So a pullback in August is not uncommon. I think if there is a pullback, investors will be well placed to take advantage of it, because the broader themes driving crypto, as you mentioned, institutional adoption, that's not slowing down. In the meetings I'm having with institutions, they are moving forward with adding crypto to their portfolio. So I would take any sign of weakness as an opportunity. If we get the historic August pullback, that sets up for a very strong September, October, and November historically in crypto. I would be seizing that opportunity because I think the long-term outlook is very good.
Now, it seems like Ether got a lot of attention last month, jumping nearly 50% in July. And that's as Bitcoin gained 8% over the same period, though it did hit a new record above $123,000. What factors drove Ether's outsized growth last month? Was it ETF inflows or all the new crypto treasury companies focused on accumulating ETH tokens?
It was amazing. There were three factors all working together at once, which is why you had that huge move. So we saw significant inflows into ETFs. ETH ETFs did more inflows in July than they did in the preceding year. So that was an enormous acceleration. We saw, as you said, ETH treasury companies come into the market and buy billions. We know what that did for Bitcoin, right? It drove it from 70,000 to 100,000 to, as you mentioned, 123,000. Companies were a big driver of that. Now it's repeating in Ethereum. And the third thing is, in DC, we made major progress on stablecoins. You saw the Stablecoin Genius Act signed into law. Guess what's the number one beneficiary of stablecoin activity and growth? It's Ethereum. That's the number one platform for issuing and moving stablecoins around the world. So that created a great narrative for investors. I think all three themes will continue throughout the year. So I'm very bullish on ETH from here.
So we're going to come back to your point on stablecoins in just a minute. But first, last month, BitWise released its crypto market review for the second quarter. And the report called the quarter, quote, exceptional and one of quiet progress. And you note the fact that there are multiple factors driving that, including the confirmation of pro-crypto SEC Chair Paul Atkins, Coinbase entering the S&P 500 index, and then stablecoin issuer Circle debuting really what was a blockbuster IPO. So in a nutshell, how would you categorize the quarter based on your research, and what do investors have to look forward to in Q3?
Yeah, it's everything happening all at once. If we had been talking a few years ago, any one of those stories could have been the only thing we talked about. Coinbase entering the S&P 500 as the first crypto company. Now it's owned by almost every American investor. That's enormous. But these other stories are just as big. Just this week, we had the SEC announce Project Crypto. The chairman of the SEC called this a generational opportunity to upgrade America's financial infrastructure. I think that phrase, everything, everywhere, all at once, all the things crypto talked about, hoped about, looked forward to for years, seem to be coming into fruition. It's really an incredible moment.
As you guys can see, you guys see the education that's being given. Even when the question was posed, or the pullback. No. The pullback is the time to actually, divvy down and get more. It's in lack of better terms. Truly see what's happening. And you have these players that have these ETFs pending the SEC's approval, hedera, XRP, XLM, all of these wonderful things that we hold in regards to our personal portfolios. Like, when have they ever talked about anything coming out of the Securities Commission that have ever affected anything that you personally hold in your personal portfolio? Never in your lifetime, because it has never happened. So truly see how we have truly front run the institutions. And when this institutional capital come flowing into these networks, understand what's getting ready to happen, you guys. And I'm not saying it's going to be overnight, but truly understand that this roadmap has been laid out and they are now executing the plan. Okay, follow me on this. I'm always going somewhere. We're going to hop even more into that interview, and I will be right back.
Now, this Q2 report from BitWise points out that one especially intriguing area to watch is stablecoins and tokenized assets, noting that assets under management soared in recent months and show no signs of slowing. Already, big names are jumping into the space like JP Morgan. Even Walmart and Amazon are reportedly exploring issuing their own stablecoins. So do you think that stablecoin deployments start to take off now across some of the non-traditional, non-crypto native players?
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing that's going to happen is growth. The US government, which is not like a bullish analyst, says that stablecoins could go from $250 billion to $3 trillion by 2030. That's 4+ years away. That's a 10 or 12xing of the market. That's an enormous growth. I think they may be undercounting, but even if we get that, it's a massive investment opportunity. Do I think we'll see Amazon and Walmart directly issue stablecoins? I'm not sure, but will they get involved by allowing stablecoins to be used for paying for things on their site, maybe offering discounts, maybe getting a share of revenue? I think that's what will happen. I think stablecoins are going to fundamentally change the way we do payments in the US, which is hard for people to imagine. But I would take us back to previous times we were able to do things electronically that we previously couldn't. Things like email, disrupting how we move information around the world. Stablecoins are like that for money. It makes the money frictionless, global, and instant. I think it's going to be a major change.
And what does this mean for your two market leaders in this space, Tether and USDC?
Yeah, huge market opening. I mean, again, the government says this will 12x over the next 4 years. You might wonder, how will they compete with JP Morgan, with Bank of America, with other financial giants that come into the market? The history of financial innovation says, yes, those giants get a stake, but the crypto native or the native companies that built that industry do very well. As you know, I come from an ETF background. The largest ETF company today is BlackRock, but they had to acquire that firm because it grew outside of the traditional mutual fund industry. Often these people discount these native players. I think Circle is a generational company. I think Coinbase is a generational company. I think it could one day be $1 trillion company if it continues to execute year after year. So I wouldn't discount these native players and assume JP Morgan will waltz in and own the market. That's not how innovation works.
Now back to Paul Atkins. Last week, as you mentioned, the SEC debuted this Project Crypto initiative to modernize securities regulations to allow for crypto-based trading. Now that announcement came amid a surge of interest in tokenization. Chair Atkins discussed the importance of preventing crypto firms from moving offshore due to one-size-fits-all rules. What do you think about Project Crypto, and do you think it'll be effective in achieving that goal?
I do think it'll be effective at achieving that goal of onshoring innovation in the space. And I think it's important for America and important for investors. It's worth noting just how poor our existing financial infrastructure is, right? It hobbles along on ancient platforms. It trades 5 days a week from 9:30 to 4. That's not the world we live in anywhere. That's like the 1980s. We're in the 2020s. It should be 24/7, 365. It should be global and frictionless. And what Atkins says is he's going to move us there. This will be the biggest change in market infrastructure since we went from floor trading to digital trading. It's that scale of change, and he's going to accelerate it. So it's great for the US. It's great for crypto companies building in the US. And it's going to completely, I think, remake how we trade stocks, bonds, ETFs, and how we move dollars. Everyone should read the speech. It's a sort of guideline on how to build a portfolio in this space. Every section gives you an investment idea, and it's pretty exciting to me.
Now you guys just heard everything that he had to say, including key point. One of the key points, there's multiple key points, that these native players that have been cementing themselves in infrastructure, basically, when the market gets brought up on, the big boys ain't just gonna come knock them out. They're gonna have to think about it, bend the knee, because we have the technology that you need for you to do what you want to do in this space. So you have to come through my corridor. You have to come through my door to do so. Truly understand what is being laid out and see that this is an incredible time to be positioned in utility players in the Web3 space. We have never seen this time in human history where we now have, in our lifetime, a new asset sector being birthed in front of our faces via the fourth industrial revolution, which is blockchain and distributed ledger technologies being onboarded by massive players and institutional capital that's getting ready to flow through these networks, because the people who have that type of capital to flow actually is getting ready to start flowing it. Follow me down this journey and pathway. Like, I'm not going to lead y'all and do nothing that I'm not doing myself. I'm not going to talk. That's why I don't just talk about any old project, because I don't want to be any type of influence on anyone in a negative way. Now, am I saying all of these things that I talk about will one day be everything that I hope and dream they will be? I don't know. No one knows the future. But does it look more likely based off of the evidence that's been presented? Absolutely. So that's why I talk about value. I could talk about the hottest memes. I could probably have a lot of subs because I'm talking about the new craze of, dog and cat, the dog wears hat, meme coin, and everybody needs to get it and go out and buy it. Y'all, that ain't gonna bring no value. That's not gonna bring long-term nothing. It's only gonna bring short-term happiness and long-term pain, because you're gonna be happy when it go up, and then when it go down, you'll be like, dog, I didn't sell it. Like, understand what's happening, because the difference is when you have institutions running businesses through technology, and that technology is coupled to the internet, because it is the value layer of the internet of value, the internet of trust. That is what's being built out right in front of our faces. We will know exactly who everybody is on the internet as far as knowing when I'm interacting with you, I can trust you or who you are based off of your digital ID. And I will be able to send you value instantly via things like a digital wallet. That now every single bank in this country, and I'm more than sure if it's happening here in America, it's happening in other countries as well, are onboarding Web3 processes and coupling already existing bank accounts with digital wallets. I'm telling you guys, this process of Web3 is happening. The institutions are not coming, they are here. And they are just waiting for the green light, which is regulation. Things like the Genius Act that we are now possibly 2 months away from having being signed into law, just like the Genius Act was for stablecoins. Truly see what's happening and understand that this is an incredible time to be in the Web3 space. Like, for real, I'm gonna keep saying it because it is truly the truth, you guys. It truly is. And I hope the people that's out here who watch my videos, who follows, and I hope you guys truly enjoy everything and the information that is coming to you from it, because it truly is coming authentically and from the heart. I don't have a script for any of these things. Only thing I do is I come from the top of my head and I speak with love. Truly, you guys, I truly do. So I thank each and every single one of you for typing anything that I've ever said in any video. Y'all are rock stars for that. And my homeboy from Brazil, brother, I got your message a few days ago, but I record my videos in advance. So I'm just now getting to the point to where I can actually shout out Brazil, because he wanted me to shout out Brazil. Anybody that's in Brazil that's watching my video, I appreciate y'all. Anybody that's in any part of the world, whether I want to say I've had people from Australia, also shout out. I've had people from the Netherlands, Amsterdam, shout out. I have people from Germany, shout out. The UK, of course, my second home almost. I love y'all over there. Shout out. I want to say Mexico too. Anybody in the world that's watching this, I thank y'all, for real. Like, y'all are truly what makes the community a community. Y'all are truly what makes the channel a channel. And I appreciate every single one of y'all. And guess what? If y'all made it all the way through this entire video, I want y'all to type in Brazil, because my homeboy in Brazil, he comments on every single video multiple times. And I appreciate him just like I appreciate every single one of y'all. So if y'all made it all the way through this whole video, type in Brazil. I appreciate y'all, for real. Until the next time, y'all already know. Peace out.